And when we read The Fighter, it really kind of fit all the little box, checked all the boxes that we really wanted to hit. And at the end of the day, it's although it's a story about a fighter and about a story about redemption, it's also the story about this mother and a son and the love that they have for each other. And that.
Hi, Philip brothers. How are you guys? Grant and Parker. Thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to be talking to you both. I want to ask you first, like, what attracted you to the script that Michael Farris Smith wrote?
Yeah, I think, we were hunting for something that we could adapt. We wanted to find a novel, and we knew we wanted to look within that, Southern Gothic genre, because that's a genre that Graham and I grew up loving, with authors like Faulkner and Cormac McCarthy. And so we just were kind of tearing through books, trying to find something that felt right. And we picked up this book called The Fighter, and about halfway through it, we knew this one's the one. We were looking for something that really kind of was about more of an isolated protagonist at the time. We really wanted to do something that was, inspired by Taxi Driver, and Joker had come out. And when we read The Fighter, it really kind of fit all the little box, checked all the boxes that we really wanted to hit. And at the end of the day, it's although it's a story about a fighter and about a story about redemption, it's also the story about this mother and a son and the love that they have for each other. And that felt something unique to the genre. And so yeah, when we read it, it honestly felt like something that we felt we had written. And I think that's why we had such a close partnership with Michael, who ended up adapting the novel into the screenplay. We were really aligned in all of our vision.
Yes, and what was about Aaron Eckhart previous work that made you guys pick him to play this perfect protagonist?
Well, it's interesting because we've both been fans of Eckhart, and we had a hard time casting this film. We couldn't really think about who we wanted. A lot of times when you're working on a project and you're adapting it, you have a couple actors in mind, and we didn't really have an actor in mind yet. And our producer called us and mentioned Eckhart's name, and we immediately just thought, yes, there's something about him that felt really right for this. And we couldn't really point to a performance that he'd done in the past that felt like this performance. It was just something in his essence that made us think that he has something to prove. He has something to say. There's a part of him that is a fighter that maybe people don't understand as much. You look at a lot of his roles, and he plays throughout his career. He's played a lot of charmers, and while this character does have a past maybe as being charming, like really he's isolated and he's a bit shy, and we thought that there might be a chance that Eckhart is going to show a different side of himself. And when we talked to him on the phone, it became very clear that he understood this role in a really deep way, and that really excited us.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job, and also to cast the young actor to play him. I think the young actor was super cute and super amazing the way that he portrayed. I don't know, where did you guys find him? I know that his name is Michael, but I don't know. He's really good too. I don't.
So it's so great to hear you say that, and I'll definitely pass it on to Michael. I think, Graham and I shot the film in Natchez, Mississippi, which was pretty close to where the novel really was set, in the Mississippi Delta. And, a lot of the cast we were flying out, but a lot of the cast we were trying to find locally, and young Jack was one of those parts. So we were auditioning with all the, lower schools in the area, and we held open auditions, and we got to, work with kids, which was really fun. Graham and I both grew up doing school plays and musicals. So it was almost like it felt like we were casting a lower school play. And yeah, there was a lot of actors that were really fun to work with, but Michael really, had the look, which was really important, but also understood emotionally, despite having great parents of his own, he understood emotionally what it might be like to, have been a foster child, and more importantly, what it would be like to be bullied, and what that might feel like, because so much of those scenes when Jack flashes back, are either about the struggle of fitting in and the struggle, you see it on the playground, or the flip side, it's about, this great love that he had for his foster mother who took a shot on him and adopted him, and their love for each other no matter how they came to be.
Also, I want to talk about the fight scenes, the stunt scenes, the accident. There is like a lot of like going on. It's a lot, especially there is, I don't want to spoil, but there was the scene in the car that he's fighting and then driving. That's crazy, I think. But how was like this like doing those scenes, like was like challenging? Can you talk a little bit about it, like developing those scenes?
I think that one of our favorite things to film as directors is action. And I think it's because it's one of the moments in films where you really want it to be unique. You don't want it to be something that you've seen before. You want it to surprise people. You want to do it in a different way. And one of the sequences I think we're most proud of is the fight that you're talking about. There's a knife fight in a moving vehicle, and then the truck careens into a cornfield. And we had to get really specific about how we wanted to pull it off, because it's one thing when you have a giant budget and you have a bunch of time to do it, but when you don't have that much time, you have to get really creative. And one of the ways that we did it was there's this technique called poor man's process when you're filming car scenes, where the car actually isn't moving, but the way that you film it, with lights and sometimes with someone literally on the back of the car bouncing it up and down, it simulates that the car is moving. It generally only works at nighttime, and that's what directors do. But in order to do the stunts and everything, because it would have been with a moving vehicle with a knife, it was too many variables and too dangerous. We had to develop a way to make it look like there was corn going past the side of this car. And so we developed with the special effects department what we ended up calling the corn conveyor belt, which was basically a bunch of corn stalks stuck into like a garden hose wheel. And so we had people moving these bits of corn going outside of the window while we could just focus on the stunt work on the inside. So, it's not always glamorous the way that movie magic has to happen to get it done. But we were really proud of how the sequence turned out.
Yeah, that's why it caught my attention. I was like, oh my God, how they do that? You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of like elements, it's the fight, it's the driving, it's the corn, it's the actors, like it's a lot. So you pull it out really good, because I really enjoyed that. So I also want to talk about Marianne Jean-Baptiste, because she's have a really good presence, and she plays the Big Mama Suite. So what was about her, like, and bring her, because she has such a force, like she's very powerful in all characters that she played before, and in this one too.
Yeah, I think, like you said with Aaron Eckhart, I think that, she has an amazing career and played so many interesting roles. This character was something different for her. Graham and I couldn't point to anything in her past and say, yeah, you're going to do that. And I think that's what attracted the role to her, just like it attracted Jack for Aaron. Our casting director, Pam Dixon, she threw out the name Marianne Jean-Baptiste, and when Graham and I really started diving more into her work, we just were blown away the quality of actor she is. And when she came to set, she came with this really great set of ideas for how she was going to play it. And then, when we actually came time to shoot the scene, Aaron Eckhart, his first interaction with her, he couldn't help but smile, because he was just so, the dialogue that Michael wrote for Big Mama Suite was so rich and so great. You just, it set the bar so high. You almost didn't know who could pull this off. And Marianne Jean-Baptiste did that and more. And, for all of us, it was just we all just watched for a second and smiled and forgot our jobs when she started speaking. And she's just, she's the type of actor, Aaron's the type of actor that will carry the character with him after you all cut. He doesn't, he's not dropping it as much. She's very funny, because she'll be doing this character with the thick Mississippi accent, and then we'll yell cut, and she'll switch to her British voice, and she'll ask if the take was all right or if we had any suggestions, or maybe she wants a snack, and then you yell action again, and boom, she's back into the, you know, powerful antagonist. So it was fun to watch. It's fun to watch any actor's craft and how they do it. There's no right way, but it was certainly entertaining, you know, getting to be a part of hers.
Yeah, yeah, like I think she did a really good job as well. So our movies, we talk about like distant scenes. There was some challenge there, but I think all movies or projects that you guys work with, like there is a lot of challenges. What was like the biggest challenge this time around?
Well, there were a lot of challenges on this film. Just technically getting the days to get the film made was hard because of when we filmed. We were filming during hurricane season. It was during the, you know, the big Delta variant spike of COVID. And so that was just really hard to navigate. It was super hot. And so, you know, on top of all this, you're wearing your masks, you're wearing your shields, and it's like, you know, 100 degrees outside and it's humid. And so, you know, your glasses and the shield are fogging up and you're trying to see the monitor. So there was already so many variables. You know, as with a lot of things in life, the more what you put up against someone, the more it forces everyone and yourself to really get specific about why you're doing what you're doing and to sort of find that inner resolve. And, you know, that's so much about what this film is, you know, working through adversity and sort of letting the resistance help guide what your path is. You know, sometimes the things that are the most difficult they're there for a reason, to show you where you actually need to go and, you know, where your life's work is. And we definitely felt that on this film, because there was a lot of obstacles in between where we were 2 years ago and getting to be able to sit here with you right before its release.
Amazing. You know, the movie is great. I liked it a lot. I hope everybody liked it as well. I just want to thank you so much for your time, Parker and Graham, the Phillips brothers, and I hope you can bring more projects like this in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, great question.
If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.